How we doing, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Geekdom. As you can see, our brother Ben is not here tonight. I am filling in for him, but we do have Josh here still. Josh, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm well, my friend. I'm well. How are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Can't complain. I'm excited to do this show with you, man. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like we've both entered into a House of the Dragon.
oh yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
You wanna We didn't get to talk on Fellowship, so I haven't really gotten a chance to
Yeah,
talk to you about what you thought about it. So did you get a chance to watch it yet, or?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So the first time I watched it on my phone. So, kind of just figuring everything out, getting a feel for the new world, the new cast, the new people, that kind of stuff. I rewatched it on my TV home at home, and yeah, man, I think so far it's shaping up to be a great show. I like where everything's going. I like all the different storylines they're introducing. I'm definitely interested to see the two brothers and how that story ends up going because we
yeah.
know in Game of Thrones world what can always happen. So
Well, a battle between brothers is imminent.
I mean, hey, look, when you lose Ned Stark in the first few episodes or first season of a show, man, you don't really know what to expect after that, man.
That's true. That is true.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, so far, I would say I definitely really like it so far. Yeah,
I tell you what, man. Oh, reposition myself. So I can tell you this. This show's gonna be awesome. Um, I
I think
think,
so.
yeah, my whole thing with the brothers, I just feel like it would be interesting if um, Damon is not as bad as we think. I'm on
Right.
two. I'm on the fence about it because it's like, on one hand, I feel as though he may betray Viserys and try
Mhm.
to usurp the throne for himself. On the other hand, I feel as though that through his, even though he's pretty arrogant.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
he
obviously.
may have the he may deep down actually have what it takes to be king. But then this was something I was also building on, right? What if someone else, maybe it's not Damon, someone
Okay,
else takes out Viserys? And this would be like the fall of the Targaryens, right? Someone
sure.
else takes out Viserys, which means that well, obviously Rhaenyra's, or I'm sorry, Rhaenyra
Yeah,
would be the next
right.
one after he pretty much put her in place. But let's say the council may stop it, put Damon up, but they only put his head up to be on the chopping block, really, kind of like a Julius Caesar.
Sure. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I was
I
kind
can
of
see that.
thinking. Yeah, something along those lines. If they do decide to go that route, I think that would be interesting. To be honest with
I think this could turn out even to be a three-way battle
you.
where all three of them are fighting for power at one point because if the king is weak and she's still considered the heir
Mm-hmm.
to take over, but he's weak or he's dying or something like that, I can see her definitely maybe not. I don't think she would kill him, but I think she would definitely be like, whatever, like kind of
You think
whatever
so?
happens. Yeah,
Well,
especially after the mother thing. She's gonna find out about the mother thing, I think.
oh yeah, yeah,
And that's going to change
yeah.
her and his dynamic. I think a lot. I think that's going to
That's
change
true.
how she looks at him and how he is going to be treated by her going forward. Do you know what I mean?
So you know what? What if when she finds out, she orders Damon to take him out?
Man, see, I don't want them to work together, but that's a possibility.
But see, that's the thing. I was thinking at one point that they would work together because when he gave her that Valyrian steel necklace, right,
Yeah,
and how she was already on the fence about her father, it seemed as though that he was trying to pretty much lure her to his side, and they were already
yeah.
close. So it seemed like he was trying to bring her in deeper. But
And you know
then
what?
when the father said something,
Go
to
ahead.
her.
Sorry.
She kind of, you're good. I was gonna say when the father said something to her about taking pretty much being the heir and how he was sorry about not focusing on her and what he already had.
Mm-hmm.
Then that kind of puts him in Sons of Anarchy terms in deeper with him. So it's
Sure.
like it's almost like the power struggle is over who Rhaenyra is really going to support it in a way.
Wow. You know what? Because now you make me think of something that he said to the king, which was, "Look, man, you're weak. Make me your hand, and I can be your fort. Like I can be your fist. Like, you know what I mean? You're weak. You can't make the." Maybe he gives the same pitch to her at some point, and he's like, "Look, you're a kid. You can't make some of the hard decisions that need to be made right now. Make me your hand. You know what I mean? Make me your hand. Let's take power from your father, and let's do this together." Maybe he convinces her, man. You're not wrong there.
Hey, listen, what if he's Sauron without being Sauron? Because that's what we'll see in Rings of Power, the manipulation of the king.
Yeah.
So, man,
especially let's say he does that right after her and her father have the conversation about the mom. So she finds out about the mom. They have a conversation, and then the uncle comes in and he's like, "Look, you're obviously going to be the queen. Cool with me. I'll be your hand." You know what I mean? Then he gives her the whole pitch of like, "I'll be the fist. I'll be your fist, not just your hand. I'll be your fist.
Yeah.
You just worry about being queen. I'll make sure everything else is good."
Do you know what's crazy about when you think about shows like this and how kingdoms work? Kings and queens are never actually the ones that are in charge.
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's just the title. You're just the face. Everyone else that's the counsel in the background, the advisors, they're the ones that are really kind of calling the shots by persuading you on what you should do. But it's really almost
the people think that Joffrey's in charge, but nobody in the kingdom thinks Joffrey's in charge.
No.
Nobody takes Joffrey seriously.
No, it's all
nobody.
They hate Joffrey. And I just got HBO Max back, so I'm going to continue.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to say anything that would spoil anything for you, but I knew you were at least past that stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's why I made that reference because
But you know what, though? I remember when we were talking a while back, and you had said that some of your favorite stuff, or your actually your favorite dynamic, was between Arya and the Hound.
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I love that. I love that relationship, man. Throughout the show, I really do.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a good one. I feel like it's gonna.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's gonna break my heart at some point. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't want to say anything. But I think all the way up to the end, man, they have a great relationship. No matter how, because she hates him. She absolutely hates him.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to kill him because of what he did. But at the same time, because, and again, I don't know exactly where you are in their storyline, but there's things that happen where they sort of have a love-hate relationship, I guess is the best way to say it.
I'm at the point when she got Needle back.
Okay. So so you're at a good part. You're at a good part then,
Yeah.
So you'll see what I mean. So again, it's too good to ruin for me, especially that storyline, because that's such a great storyline. I think the way they play it in the show, it doesn't feel forced, but it makes sense why they're together for a lot of the time.
Yeah, I got you. Man, you got a lot of great TV.
Dude, this, like you said, though, this show for me, I think, is going to be awesome. Because the only reason she hesitates to say Dracarys is because it's her mother and brother laying there that she has to say it about. Or to the dragon, give the command to. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think she had any problem saying Dracarys.
No.
So if she gets a dragon, which it will be that more than likely that dragon under her, as her, enforcer too, we could see some really cool stuff in this show. And from what Joe says, that's what we're going to get is some really crazy, like Top Gun battle. Yeah. So I want to see that kind of stuff, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think, what wasn't Cyrex the dragon that she was flying in on initially, isn't that her dragon?
The gold, like the golden one, more
Yeah.
gold. Yeah, I
And
think
they were
so.
like, it's not even at full size yet. I'm like, it's not at full size
Oh,
yet.
yeah, right.
That's crazy. Because
Well, you got to
see
remember.
that skull at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even at the end of Game of Thrones, Daenerys's dragons are babies still. I mean, not babies, but they're small still compared to what they could be or will be. So yeah, dragons get huge apparently, man. And then there's some that get like gigantic, like the skull in the basement of like that's
Was that Rhaegar's dragon?
that's like dragon. Even before this show, like that was another king's dragon that had that dragon, and that dragon, like you could see, like when people walk by it, like it was
They're
like
small.
small compared to its head. So you can imagine how big that dragon had to be. Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a beast, man.
Maybe they'll do something like this every couple years, or after each series, they'll do another one where, like in 4 or 5 years, they'll do maybe they'll do that story of that king and that dragon in that time period and something like that. Hopefully,
I think they'll probably do all the books actually. I mean, because now since Joe says this is a Song of Ice and Fire, and then we already had Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Yeah. We could, and then the Jon Snow show is supposed to happen. I don't know if that's a Feast for Crows, but it could be because they always refer to the Night's Watch as the Crows.
Sure.
So maybe that's a Jon Snow story. Then you've got Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, because it's a sequel. It's a sequel show, right, to Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure there's a lot more we'll explore in this world. And
for sure. I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. No, man. I think if they can keep doing this, man, then they can do a few more shows for sure. I think.
Oh, I'm here for it. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what, man. I need another Sons of Anarchy show, man. I need, because we have Sons of Anarchy, then we have Mayans, and they just got renewed for season 5. Which is great. And then the creator Kurt Sutter, it's unfortunate what happened to him because he didn't have the rights. And I'm like, that's what y'all got.
He wrote it. He wrote Sons of Anarchy.
He wrote and created
Gotcha.
Sons of Anarchy. He created Mayans, and FX was the one that had the rights. He didn't have. Yeah. And I'm like, you gotta put that down in a contract or work a negotiation or something because he was going to do several different spin-off shows.
Yeah, but I can imagine too when you're like a brand new writer or you have this idea that somebody really, really wants, they're going to pressure you, man. They're going to pressure the hell out of you to try to get rid of as much as they can get out of you.
Yeah. It doesn't help that he got fired off the show either. It's just...
See, and that's the thing that I don't understand is how do you fire the creator of a show? Like, how do you do that?
It was like he wasn't showing up one time after a while. I think I don't know if he was getting belligerent with people. It's just, they always like to say creative difference. I don't think it was really creative differences. I just think it was things, things that we do in the everyday workplace that he just wasn't upholding to. And then, because honestly, people don't really realize, and I'm diving more into acting, and I'm realizing this is still technically a job.
So, absolutely.
You gotta follow workplace behavior that you gotta uphold, and certain things you just can't be doing. So you can't just, your directors don't like constant. You constantly showing up late, or you don't know your lines, or you're just not prepared. And that's not a great thing. For the creator, you're the one that's supposed to be, you're the head of all because you created all of this. You got to set the tone for it. So it's like,
that's fair. I mean, if he was just being an ass to everybody, then I can understand that. But what I mean by that is if somebody creates a show, if the show isn't working anymore, bringing in a new writer isn't going to work, in my opinion, always, or even most of the time, because there's a certain vision that the creator has for a show, and if they sort of run out of ideas, you can bring somebody else in and they can sort of further that. But it's like Star Wars now. Like, it's so hard to get back to what it was without George Lucas, I think, because he's not there. He has to be somehow a part of it in some way, whether it's a little part or a big part. I think he is the heartbeat of it.
But you make a good point in that. And at the same time, I think if you have somebody who has worked closely with the creator, because that's what happened with Ryan. So it was with him and Elgin Jane. And then after season 2, Sutter got fired. And so Elgin took over, and he's been doing a great job ever since. And he's really like taken off and made this thing his own. So I think if you always get somebody that's been with the creator, or at least been in the company and a part of the project and that world and what you're building, someone who understands it, rather than getting someone completely different from the outside that knows absolutely nothing and then wants to just take everything and flip it on its head, but not, and especially if you're in the middle of like, you're telling this overarching story that may take out 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think that may be why that could be a reason as to why some shows got stale, because maybe they brought in someone from the outside who didn't know what was going on, and it just took a left turn and it never recovered.
Well, look at Harry Potter. Man. I mean, the movies were great because they were based off the books, but once they made her write screenplays and not books, the Fantastic Beasts movies aren't as good.
Oh no.
Because she's not a screenwriter. She's a book writer, and she didn't write those books yet. She hasn't written those stories yet, and they kind of forced her to. And it didn't come out right.
Because even Michael Crichton and David Koepp, they wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park, and Michael Crichton was the original. Well, he's the author of Jurassic Park.
Right,
and,
okay.
I think like when you have someone who understands screenwriting that works with the author to kind of put it on paper. And maybe she just didn't have. So did J.K. just have? Was it just her doing the screenplay?
From what I've gathered, she wrote the screenplays for the movies.
Yeah.
Now maybe there was people there that helped her write them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think a writer, if they're not ready to write a story and you sort of force them into writing a story, it's never going to be what they want it to be. One. And it's never going to be what it could be too, because they're not ready to write that story yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some writers just have a process. They have a process where it might take them a year to write a book. Some can write it in 2 days. Some can write it in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every writer has their own process. So, we don't know what her process was. But if it's not if they tried to make her go out of that process in any way, of course you're not going to get a great story out of her.
Nah. And what's funny? Funny thing. That's a great segue into Dan Lin.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah. You wanna go ahead and introduce that?
Yeah, so he's apparently been announced as the new DC creative, basically the Kevin Feige of DC. He comes from Kevin Feige, correct? Kevin Feige found him, or Kevin Feige, he worked for Kevin Feige at some point?
Sure, absolutely.
Really? I believe that's what it said. Hold on.
That I want to find out for sure.
I wanted to pull this up anyway, so.
Oh, he had to. Well, I'm sure he had to because Kevin Feige started at Warner Brothers, and
yeah, right.
He didn't come over until around 2008 or 2006, whatever they started working on the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
I know the movie came out in 2008, but movies take a minute to start up.
Right.
Let's see. Did Dan Lin work with Kevin Feige?
I believe that is. Oh, wait a minute. We have some. Joe's in. Joe's in here. Oh, so is him.
Joe's in?
Ben, what's up, man?
Hey,
how we
Ben.
Doing, sir?
Hey, Joe.
Joe, what's
Legends. Up? Yes. this great
Thank you,
faction.
sir. We appreciate it.
Valerian the Black
Oh,
Dread.
here we go.
Conquering dragon. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so there we go. See, that's why we need him. That's why we need him, man.
I can't remember his name. Yes.
And Viceroy before he died. Okay. Viserys. Okay. All right. So see, yeah, that's stuff I don't know. So yeah, that's helpful.
Sounds like we need to read the books.
You know what's funny, man? I have a credit, or I had a credit on my Audible account, and I bought the Game of Thrones book. So I'm ready to start going through them all.
That's awesome. You gotta do that.
Yeah. Definitely doing that.
Do you think, well, based off of what he's produced, Dan Land, he's put out films like It, Lego Movie, the second part,
sure,
Lego Batman. I enjoyed all the Lego movies.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think all the Lego movies are pretty good, man. I really do.
He did Sherlock Holmes, apparently. Yeah, so he's been working with them for a while now. And I think that was the right thing to do. Get somebody in-house that's been around the facility, knows the processes, knows the expectations, knows pretty much what to do. I think that if you have that as your base standard, especially with the direction that David is like my favorite thing to go, and that works out perfectly. Now, the question comes, what type of, are they trying to build a set universe, or do they just want to do, individual projects, which I'm okay with. It's kind of like,
I think he's going to set the tone. I think he's going to set that tone. Whatever it is, he's going to set that tone, man. I think.
Yeah. You think? Do you think that they'll try to make that? If anybody gets a universe, would it be more so Batman?
What I think is going to happen is we're going to get a complete reboot of the entire DC EU. I think that's the smart way, and really the only way at this point to get out of all the just negativity of it. I mean, and even you could maybe bring Momoa back. You could bring Gal Gadot back as Wonder Woman, but I think just a complete reboot of the story itself is the smartest way to go. If you can get Ben and you can get Henry Cavill back, then go do it, because they are at this moment known as those characters, and I think pretty good at those characters. So if you can get them, I don't see why not. But with everything going on with the Flash and just where they wanted to go with this story and where they're going to be able to go with this story, I don't think it's going to mesh again. So I think the best thing to do is just say, you know what, we tried it, it didn't work. This is the canon going forward for the DCEU. Starting with this movie here, whatever it is. Batman, Superman, whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a Green Lantern, since that's the one thing we haven't got yet is a Green Lantern. So hopefully they start with Green Lantern and then build from there. That's what I'd like to see them do.
I bet you they'll start with John Stewart.
I'd like to see. I think Michael B. Jordan as John Stewart is the way you started off.
I wouldn't oppose that, actually.
I think Michael B. Jordan is John Stewart. I've liked that I've heard that somewhere a few times over the years, and I think it's actually a smart play. I think it's a smart play. After Creed, that dude for me can carry a movie, so I have no issue with him being a lead anymore. I think before he wasn't a lead actor, but since Creed, he has proven he's a lead actor. Yeah. I really think he has. So.
You know what else? I can see it. I can see that happening. I honestly would like a Static Shock movie at some point. Did you ever see that?
There's a lot of stuff in DC I'd like to see, man.
Yeah, man. Lobo.
DC is wide open at this point.
Yeah, possibly.
They were talking about a Lobo movie for a while, and who was they were going to have? Oh my god!
were going to go with The Rock for it at one point.
Is that who it was? Oh my god, I want to see a Lobo movie, dude. I would love to see a Lobo movie.
Yeah, there was Lobo. I mean not Lobo. There was The Rock. I think.
No, it's not The Rock because The Rock's he's been talking about the Black Adam since like 2004 or something crazy. Yeah. So, but there was a big
might have been Lamar.
Who was it?
Lamar, not The Rock. Yeah, but they decided.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I mean, what? They kill off Aquaman and then he reincarnates as Lobo.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that'd
right.
Cool. I mean, if they want to reboot it, I guess that's how they'll reboot it. But that's the thing, though. I think like
it depends on how long they want him as a character. Because if they're just gonna have him as like a couple movie character, dude, go get somebody crazy like Stallone. Go get Stallone to play Lobo.
To play Lobo? Oh man, listen.
That would be crazy.
But you know
that
what,
would be
has
crazy.
This movie come out yet? This superhero film, is it out?
Samaritan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out on. What is it on?
I know it's going to be
Amazon, right?
I don't know if it's out yet.
I think I saw. I can watch it. Yeah, I think I can watch it.
Yeah, because I wonder, maybe depending on how that is, what if we do get more Stallone as a hero, or maybe even a villain?
Dude, anything's possible at this point, dude. I never thought I'd see Stallone do a superhero movie. So,
yeah, and
I mean, shit. Why not?
I haven't seen Stallone as a villain unless he has done it before.
Yeah, I can't think of anything he's ever actually been a villain in. I mean, he's played some pretty tough people, but never like a true villain. Yeah, not that I can think of, at least.
I'd like to see that. I would like to see that.
But see, that was taboo back then too. You got to remember, back then, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and Van Damme, they wouldn't really play bad guys because then back then it was like it was perceived as, you know, you got typecasted basically.
Heroes.
Yeah,
that's who they were.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Larger than life heroes.
Where now it doesn't really matter. You can kind of play anything as long as you're good, you know. So I think it's a little bit different.
Tom Hanks as Norman Osborn. That's still my pick.
Who is it?
Tom Hanks as Norman Osborn.
Oh, dude, that would be interesting.
That's still my pick,
dude. I'm interested because Keanu Reeves is playing a villain coming up soon. I can't remember what it's in, but he is. I would love to see Keanu Reeves as a villain, dude. I think that's actually really good pick.
I tell you what,
that's a cool pick.
Keanu is Ghost Rider.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. Or I know there were also talking about maybe Norman Reedus being.
You know who I'd like to see Keanu Reeves play? Actually, I think this would be perfect. So in this new DC, Batman's dead. And this is like, let's say 20-year in Nightwing. Keanu Reeves is like Nightwing, like 20 years in. Yeah, like an older Nightwing.
Ooh.
I could see that, dude. I could see that.
I'm not
for
opposed
sure.
To that. I'm not opposed
I
to
could
that.
see that for sure, dude.
That's a great pick, dog. That's an excellent pick, actually. You know what? Okay, how about this? I'll raise you one.
Okay.
What if? It's just speculation.
Okay. I like it.
What if Keanu was, and what if he's Werewolf by Night?
Oh, that would be freaking crazy. That would be crazy. See, I think he would have also been a good pick for Morbius.
I still haven't watched that movie, but you know,
I still think he would have been a good pick for Morbius.
I can see that. Yeah.
To me, and I hate to say it this way because I respect Jared Leto, but Jared Leto is a cheap man's Keanu Reeves. That's what he is to me for some reason. He looks sort of like Keanu when he was younger. He's got that long hair. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's just his, I don't know, demeanor. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way at all to him, because I think he's a good actor in his own right. But he just feels like a younger Keanu to me, like in a lot of ways. And I think all these roles that he gets, Keanu would nail. Keanu would nail them now.
Well, it's kind of like just as a sports analogy, it's kind of like when people would say Paul George is pretty much a poor man's LeBron. They very similarly, but like
that's not fair. Yeah. Paul George is a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. But that was Pacers. Paul George.
I mean, I personally think LeBron is the greatest player ever, even over Jordan. That's my personal opinion. But again, look, I'm not going to sit here and make like an objective argument for it either. I just personally think that. But I don't know, man. I think that term gets thrown around a lot, very loosely, especially in basketball. I think it's a lot harder to say who's the GOAT of basketball, because we've seen so many great players, man. So many greats.
And we've seen a lot of, we see a lot of great actors, and it's like, well,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, maybe Keanu's on his what do they call it? Keanu-sance?
Yeah.
And I think I just don't think that the superhero genre. Or maybe it just hasn't been kind to Jared Leto. Maybe he hasn't found that role, or maybe it's just like, hey, maybe it's just not his niche. And I think that Keanu could be a better fit. And maybe listen, like I said, I haven't seen a lick of Morbius.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'll be honest, I haven't.
The fact that people are even, just, and it could be wrong, and it can be, we can make the argument it's wrong to make the assumption that, okay, just because it's Keanu would be better, but you have to say at the same time, like, Keanu is just a little more entertaining to watch, and he just brings a different type of energy to the screen while he's up there.
Yeah,
that makes it more enjoyable. It's almost like he can make a bad movie better.
Yeah.
And
he's an experienced actor. I mean, I think experience with acting is very important, because there's a lot of actors we've seen that we've all think are great. But if you go back in their catalog, of course, there's movies that they weren't great in. I mean, that's any actor, really. So I think experience goes a long way for actors when they figure out who they are as an actor and who, what I mean, what they can and can't do as an actor. I think that's when you get better as an actor, is when you're, more honest and open.
That's
and that
true.
Usually comes with experience. So, and there's a lot of great young actors. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've seen obviously a lot of great young actors, but I think even younger actors get better with age. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because like Keanu was freaking Bill and Ted, or not Bill, Bill and Ted. Like that was Keanu. And what's the movie he did with Nick Nolte and Point Break? Like that, Keanu Reeves he was like the surfer dude. Like that's who he was. And then he did Speed, and then Matrix, and he kind of grew. He grew as an actor, and he grew. His roles grew also from there.
The Replacements. That's what I thought you were
saying. Oh, that's one of my dude. I love The Replacements. That's a great movie.
Wasn't that Gene Hackman?
Yeah. You know where that was filmed at?
Man, wow. See, I took Don. Schmodown team must be formed, my friend.
Oh man. Oh, you should know this. This one I'm not even gonna give you a pass on. I can't give you a pass on this one. Raven Stadium, the year it was right before they opened up. It was filmed in Baltimore. It was filmed in Baltimore. Yeah, The Replacements was most of it was filmed in Baltimore. Yeah, and Raven Stadium. Yeah, M&T Bank Stadium before. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. I can't give you a pass on that one. I can't give you a pass on that one.
That's so cool. I did not know that at all. That is new information. I appreciate you for that new information.
Yeah. Actually, if you do ever go rewatch that movie, just look in the background of like almost every shot. You can tell it's Baltimore. I mean, anybody from Baltimore would know it's Baltimore for sure.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to shoot at him more often.
I think somebody I knew was there as an extra in the stands. I think I know
Yeah.
people that were there in the stands. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a few people I went to high school with were like in the stands as extras.
Oh, that's fine.
So, yeah.
Oh, you know what? I just had a thought.
Okay.
You know what's fantastic? That we may have a director for Fantastic Four.
And the winner is?
His name is Matt. I want to say Shackman. I feel like I'm butchering his name. But he's the guy that directed WandaVision. He's worked on shows like Billions. He's directed episodes of Game of Thrones. He's directed episodes of The Boys. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Psych. He's been like a lot of big name shows.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, listen, man.
Dude, Psych is one of my favorite shows ever. I love that
I
show.
know people who like it. I haven't yet watched it.
Oh, man. You got to watch Psych. Psych is
What
awesome.
is it about?
So basically, this guy, his name's Sean. He's not psychic in any way, shape, or form, and he knows he's not, but he can see things. Have you ever seen Monk? The show Monk with Peter Shalhoub.
No. You said Monk?
Monk, yeah, it's called Monk. That's another really good show too. But he can see things he sees little details that nobody else sees. Basically, like his father was a really good detective, and he taught him all these like tricks and all these little like things, how to read people, how to talk to people, and get information out of them. And so he's just very perceptive. Like, and the first crime he solves in the show is over the phone. Like he's literally watching a newscast about a murder, and he's like, "Oh, it was this person that did it." And then they they bring him in, and they're like, "Wait a minute, how did you know all this?" And so basically, he works with the cops, but he tells them that he's a psychic. So the whole show is like the cops are trying to prove that he's not a psychic, and he's trying to solve all these crimes with the cops as a psychic. That's why it's called Psych, because everybody thinks he's a psychic, but he knows he's not. And everybody around, like his dad knows he's not, his best friend knows he's not, but they all go along with it. And dude, I'm telling you, it's such a funny show, but it's so good. Just the way he messes with the cops, and like, he's always one step ahead of them, and it's really great. It's really funny. Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows, man. And the two people that are in it, what are their names? Well, it's Sean and Gus, but those two are so good together, man. Just so good together.
I'm gonna have to check.
Dulé Hill. He was in West Wing too.
He was a one.
He was in West Wing too. He plays Gus. He was in West Wing, but he's really good in the show too, man. I really like. They're all good.
Okay,
they're all good. Yeah, that's a show I highly recommend to people because it's one of those, like, it's just a fun watch. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just a fun watch, man. It's just really fun, and it's just a dude having some fun. Like he knows he can fool them, and they're trying to catch him in it. And because every time they're like, if we find out you're lying, like, you're going to jail for a long time. Yeah, so it's crazy.
That's funny.
And he's not doing it like a bad, like a malicious way or anything. It's just he's just trying to help. He really is just trying to help. But
he's gifted.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good though.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Even just hearing the concept, while I watch it, it excites me even more to see if this is true. Now, I've said before, I would love for Spielberg to do this.
Okay.
But if he's the one that they go with all the resume that he has, I'm here for it. And he did every episode of WandaVision. Created WandaVision, did it all.
Steven Spielberg did?
No, not
Oh, yeah,
Matt,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be crazy, right?
was gonna
But
say,
like,
yeah, I didn't even know that. If that's true, I didn't know that.
that would be crazy. But I just think that with all of that in his background,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to him being the director. If Spielberg does get attached to a Marvel project at some point, obviously now it's more than likely not Fantastic Four. But I would like to see him take on maybe X-Men.
Oh, wow.
I feel like because he's
Okay.
done ensembles before.
Yeah.
And with this guy Matt, he knows. I mean, everything that he's worked on has involved an ensemble. So it's not. And now you're focusing on the first family with the Fantastic Four. And honestly, I'm gonna recommend something that everybody do, whoever's watching and whoever sees this video. Watch the Fantastic Four from 2006.
Yeah.
It's the animated series. Check that out on Disney Plus, just to kind of familiarize yourself with how their dynamics ought to be.
Yeah.
Because honestly, listen, Reed could really do some damage in combat. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people think, like, oh man, you just stretch. No, the stuff that you could really do or have him do.
Yeah.
His combos. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Invisible Woman is so powerful. It honestly makes no sense. It really makes no sense. Like, her power level is actually really up there. It's not just force fields and energy blasts. No, it's the way she can like just block certain things out or create. Because there was like one episode.
Well, she's invisible. She's invisible. She can hit you from anywhere at any time.
Exactly.
And she's super powerful on top of that. Yeah.
Man, there's an episode with Namor, right? And they actually have to go in the water. She was able to form like pretty much, for lack of a better term, headgear around them so they could still breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great. Like, it's as long as I just want them to be really creative with what these characters can do. I mean, like, you've seen Doctor Strange, right?
That's the thing that scares me about any of these properties is they're never going to give us like what we'll never get what we want out of these characters. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like even Marvel, as great as Marvel is, and as great as Marvel has been at doing these characters and doing these storylines, we still never tapped half of their powers and how powerful they are. Like we really haven't.
I've been saying for Thor for a long time. When I saw Ultron choke him out, in Age of Ultron, I was actually very upset.
Yeah,
because I'm like, it would not. First of all, I understand Ultron is very powerful, and in this universe, he's made of vibranium. So I get that, but at the same time, Thor's a god. He would not have been in that chokehold for as long as he was.
Yep.
So I'm just like, y'all gotta get it right. Just get it right.
I don't feel like the Thanos Hulk fight was real, in my opinion. To me,
I don't know. I see what you mean. I feel like I know what you mean.
My only argument against it is that the Hulk gets madder. The madder he gets, the stronger he gets.
Right.
So if Thanos is a way better fighter than the Hulk. Nobody's going to deny that. And the Thanos is going to give him a good run for his money for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is continually just beating down the Hulk, eventually the Hulk is going to be so strong he can't control. Thanos wouldn't. He's going to have to bow down to him.
He'd rip him in half. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I think what they were doing was just to show how much of a threat he really is by taking out.
Oh yeah.
But I do know what you mean. This is why I hope.
Well, I love the line where he's like, "Let him have his fun."
Yeah,
I love that line. Like, that's one of the best lines in the movie. For sure.
Oh yeah. And this is why I think I've heard, and I hope I'm right. I hope this is right. That at the end of She-Hulk, which we got to talk about. At the end of She-Hulk,
Hulk is supposed to get very, very angry.
I want to see it.
I hope
I
that's
want to
true.
see it.
Yes. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yep.
And I think we need it. We as fans, we want it. Let's see it happen.
Yep.
But what have you thought of
I think
She-Hulk?
also, no, we'll get into She-Hulk real quick. But I think also one thing that we're missing, especially from Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, is one of the biggest stories, or not storylines, but one of the biggest things that Marvel always was able to do in the comics was give us hero fights.
Absolutely.
Like we got I don't know if you remember Hulk versus Wolverine.
Oh yeah, watch that. Love that.
One of my favorites. I love that one.
Yeah, the Hulk and Thor, that's a classic run.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of that in the first Avengers with Tony Stark, Captain America, and
Marvel
Thor.
Pro Skater.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. So we get a little bit. We get, no, we get a little bit of that, and then we obviously get a little bit of that with Civil War, but they're all pulling their punches, so we know that's that it's not the real thing.
Yeah,
I want to see Hulk lose it again after we get X-Men, and I want to see Wolverine have to go get him. Like, I want to see that, man. Whoever the Wolverine is. Fight.
Yeah.
Like, Hulk went off the radar, man. We got to go, somebody's got to go get him back. And Wolverine's like, all right, let's do it. And they do that story, man. Like, I want to see those kind of things now. Like, I get it. We need the big bads, and I'm glad we're getting all that stuff. But I want to see more of the infighting that we got in the comics, because all these storylines, there was so much infighting before we got to Thanos, before we got to Ultron, before we got to, there was so much of like Captain America versus Iron Man or whatever, conflicts. Right? Yeah,
that's a very good point.
And I don't think we've got enough of that throughout DC, and I just wish we got more of those storylines. And again, not to the point where, we're picking sides every time, but just they're going to have disagreements. I mean,
you're right.
They're a family. They're going to have disagreements, and they're superpowered. They can handle a punch. Like, it's going to happen.
You're right. You're right.
So I just,
That's a great idea that you brought up there. I can already see it. Like, if they made a standalone, well, maybe not a standalone, but if they did Hulk versus Wolverine, where Wolverine actually has to actively hunt down Hulk.
Yeah.
And bring him in. That would, oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think stuff like that would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would absolutely work.
You know what we have? It's happened, but they didn't showcase it a lot.
Sure.
Wolverine has heightened animal-like senses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, we've seen it.
Yeah.
But not as often. I can explicitly remember
Wolverine, unfortunately, is so weak as comparatively to other superheroes. He's weak. But if he had the super strength that other superheroes had, he's actually OP as hell.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is, but his whole thing is, adamant. He's indestructible.
Yeah.
Pretty much like Deadpool. I mean, they're both indestructible. But I know what you mean. Like on a straight up.
Yeah, that's why he can fight the Hulk, though. It's not that he's as strong as the Hulk. It's just that he can regenerate so fast that he could take a punch from the Hulk.
Right.
Yeah. Where like Thanos can legitimately take a hit from the Hulk, but can he fight the Hulk one-on-one for a long time? I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know about that.
Do you think Red Hulk could show up in She-Hulk?
Oh man.
Because I want to see a Red Hulk, man. Simply because it's like the angrier he gets, the hotter he is. And just to see like this angry, boiling, fiery Hulk on screen. Oh, fuck. Yeah. I would, man.
So do you think this could be his Tony Stark moment?
What do you mean?
Meaning now that he knows that his blood can be transferred that easily and the Hulk powers can be transferred that easily, that maybe he tries on another person and creates
something bad.
Like Red Hulk? Or something like that? Maybe we get Planet Hulk from that. From this.
Yeah. No,
Maybe we get Planet Hulk.
Yes.
He goes to a planet that's not developed yet and meets a group of people that aren't, as developed, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna have some fun. Let's see what happens.
But you've seen the animated movie too, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, because it's like his blood pretty much creates life.
Yeah.
That was one of the whole key things. I'm like, interesting. So if they can implement that, because they also, I'm pretty sure, I'll even raise you another.
I just don't feel like they use that as only a reason to give her the powers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're related. Obviously it makes sense in the fact that she can handle it because she has the same mutations he does or whatever, whatever. But if it works, it works. I mean, yeah, some people will probably die from it, but some people won't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what if it's like, they what they do is let's say maybe the reason why, if this is true, why Hulk gets angry is if they capture Banner. Someone captures Banner, and they want to make him a weapon. This blow will regrow Sakaar.
World War Hulk, dude. Yes.
If Universal can stop acting like asses, that movie will happen. I just need them to stop.
Yeah, they need to stop.
They need
to stop. Dude, I'm so confused because I have Disney and Universal passes, and every time I go to Universal and I see like Spider-Man and Hulk and all that stuff, I'm like, how is this like, I still don't understand how that, I mean, I get it, but you know what I mean? It's just like, how are you guys getting away with this when nobody thinks of Universal anymore when they think of Marvel? Nobody.
No, not at all. Because they had Namor and Hulk at one point.
Yeah.
But now they got Namor back, so now they're working on Hulk. But yeah, I just feel as though, man, because fans have been clamoring for it, a deal has to be made, because I think there's so much you can do with the Hulk character.
So
great, as they should. They need to.
Yeah.
Because listen, I want to see Maestro Hulk. And there's so many Hulks out there.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, look, we got Maestro Hulk, and that could be a great story. Like Hulk is a tyrant, absolutely. You've got what's the other? There's oh my gosh, what's someone talking about? I can't even think of it, but like I really want to see. There's so many stories with him, and then you could do a story. Someone's hunting him down again. They want to capture him, take his blood to pretty much make another quote-unquote super soldier serum.
Yep.
If the Incredible Hulk, for some reason, Marvel won't acknowledge it, but the Incredible Hulk is obviously still tied to the MCU. So the leader is still out there. We just haven't seen Sam Stearns pop up again. But there was that scene, if you remember, when he was on the floor after Abomination, after Emil Blonsky became Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
Stearns hits his head on the side of the table. He's got it cut wide open, and gamma ray, and just like the gamma infused blood drops into that cut. And you see that ripple effect, and he smiles. I'm telling you, if Abomination is back, the leader is out there somewhere. Has to happen. I need it.
Well, people are saying that he's probably part of the Thunderbolts, right? Wouldn't that? Or no, that's really? Abomination, right? That's Abomination. Is going to be
Abomination. Yeah, he's supposed to be part of the Thunderbolts.
He'll be part of the Thunderbolts. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
It's
and not to mention all of that. Now that they've introduced that's the way that this can spread. We also have the multiverse right now too, that we can bring multiple types of Hulks in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gray Hulk at some point.
We could get Edward Norton back as Hulk at some point. We don't know at this. We don't know.
Listen, if they were to fight, I don't know who takes that. Because listen, I don't know who takes it. Because Edward Norton's Hulk was a savage.
Yeah.
Like, he was vicious. Like, that fight with him and Abomination is one of the best on-screen comic book fights of all. I feel like it's right there with Superman and Zod. Like, because you could feel the force of their punches, just trading blows. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know, but then you got Ruffalo's Hulk, who is also pretty savage in his own right.
Hey, he's had his moments, man, for sure,
Yeah.
sure. So
yes, it'll be a good one if they ever did that. I just want to see what else. I haven't seen episode 2, but I'm just curious as to what else they may have in store down the line. Maybe we will see. Since the multiverse is now open, maybe
it's wide open at this point after
we'll
Doctor
see.
Strange. So
right, and I don't even think I still think from No Way Home, he didn't close. I think there are people that got in, and he wasn't able to close it all the way in time. I think there are people who snuck in the cracks when he was trying to pretty much close the portals and do the spell all over again. I think there's some people that escaped the multiverse and are running around in our 616 universe, I believe.
Absolutely could be, man. I mean, hey, I don't put anything past Marvel at this point, man. Nothing.
Nah.
Anything's a possibility at this point.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so getting back to She-Hulk just real quick. My overall thoughts on it, man, is it's what I thought it was going to be, man. It's a comedy, and I love them two together in the first episode. That them two are they were great together, man. That's just some great, just scenes in general. So. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I like the humor so far in it. I love the fight between them two at the end. That's such a great. That's a great little, and her trying to figure out how to do the Hulk slap or the
clap. Thunderclap.
Yeah. That's a great scene. Like that's a funny little scene. So yeah, no, I think overall they're doing a good job with it. It's going to be interesting to see how they bring everything in to one. Because I mean, we know Daredevil's coming at some point. So how does he fit into all this? That kind of thing. So
they'll form a Justice League.
I still think that's what it is. Is them two are going to lead this whatever this superhero law division is or whatever that they were talking about in the trailer. I think that's what them or they're going to go up against each other in some way in the courtroom.
I think it'll be against Department of Damage Control. I think that might be it, man. I'll tell you what.
Good call.
I only had one issue with the first episode, and it was just the one line. After I sat and thought about it, it was the line where she was pretty much saying, "I infinitely control my anger better." Now.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah, so like in context and what she was saying, because of the cat calls and all that, I understand. I get that. I just think that even though we haven't seen or heard much more from Bruce's childhood, obviously we comically we know, his dad was abusive.
Yeah.
So he's had that. But we do know.
Well, not only that, but he also, the reason he hears the Hulk is because he does have split personality.
Right.
In the comics, at least.
Yeah. And you know what? What if that part of that trauma it's similar to Moon Knight? Yeah. That you form this other personality to escape. And that's what it is. I think, and the Hulk is the embodiment of all of his rage from over the years. Which he does not want people to see because that is the wrath of all that he's been through. And it was almost, I just felt, I love the episode, no doubt. Like I said, my only issue was that one line. I understood what they were going for with that line, but I just felt it was almost in a way disingenuous to everything that Bruce has also been through. And he's lost a lot. Like a lot. Even though
I kind of get both sides of this argument, but I don't know. It just didn't bother me that much. It really didn't. I don't know. I mean, I see where you're coming from, though. I definitely see where you're coming from. But again, I think that's only fair if they establish that that is his past in this world.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So, because we haven't seen that, we haven't discussed it. But what we do know is, like you said. I put a bullet in my mouth, and the other guy spit it out.
Yeah.
He's driven to the point where he's trying to kill himself. Like
it's pretty. Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, you got beat by Thanos. You had to snap people back. Your arm was messed up.
Well, we also have to remember though, it doesn't seem like she knows much about what he did.
That's also true. That's a fair.
So
that's a
from
very
her
fair
perspective. Point. Yeah, he's lost people, and yeah, he's had, he's this rage monster, but now he's not. So,
I think he did tell her about it a little bit because they had that discussion.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe she doesn't know about the father, if that's the case. Like maybe she doesn't know about his past trauma, at least to the extent that he knows about it. You know what I mean? Maybe she only knows a little bit, or maybe nothing at all, or maybe she knows a lot. I mean, I don't know. So, I think more what she was saying in that moment is it's sort of like what he says. Actually, it kind of reminds me a lot of his line from Avengers where they're like, can you control the anger? And he's like, I'm always angry.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's kind of how she's like, I'm always angry. Like there's always something bubbling underneath.
There's always a Hulk.
I can control it. I think that might be more of a family trait than like a individual trait for them.
That's brilliant.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, Dr.
But again, who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows how? I get it. I mean, I know people don't like the woke stuff and the stuff kind of coming into the media, but look, I don't mind it as much. I just think I think the other side has been represented so much that when stuff like that gets represented, I just don't really think about it. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I'm not big on woke stuff because I don't like how it's some things there's pandering, but that's a conversation for a whole other day. But what I think is, I just feel like it's stupid to be angry about someone who's already been established for years. We've all known She-Hulk, like for years.
Oh yeah.
So for people to be mad that there's a female Hulk or that there's a female lead, then you obviously, number one, you don't know your comics, and number two, you don't know your comics. Number three, you're just ignorant because she's been around for a long time. She's been a playable character in multiple Marvel games. So I don't understand the rage in that sense. It's like I just think that's stupid to me.
I wasn't saying what you were saying was like that at all. I didn't mean that at all.
No, I got that. I'm just saying for like people who feel as though that it's. I'm like, but how if it's already been there and it's already been established? It can't be. If it's already been established, then it can't be really woke. I feel like when you start to pander, that's when it becomes that.
Sure.
But if she's already there and it's already established and she's already a character and a property and an IP, like nobody was saying Wonder Woman was woke. Wonder Woman's been around for years.
Right.
Unless I'm wrong and there were people out there and I'm like, well, how do you not know about Wonder Woman?
Well, I mean, they said the same thing about when with Captain America and Winter Soldier, man. With everything that went on in that show, they were like, "Oh, it's too much." It's like, what are you talking about? It's too much.
What do you mean?
It's literally what happens in the comics. Like, it's literally what happens in the comics. He literally becomes he becomes Captain America. That's what happens. Like, what do you mean that's too woke? Like, that's literally the storyline.
Yeah.
Like, what are they supposed to do? Not do the storyline because you don't like it? And get over yourself. Like, get over yourself. Like,
come on, man.
Not to mention, dude, Anthony Mackie is so awesome. Like, get over yourself. Like, seriously,
and I
get
like
over
the
yourself.
title for that new Captain America movie. He'll be New World Order.
Yes,
that's perfect.
I don't understand how you can watch the Marvel movies at all and not see that coming. It's either him or Bucky. And at that moment, Bucky doesn't feel like he deserves it. Bucky still is struggling with who he was. He does not feel like he's earned it, so he doesn't want it. It makes total sense. It makes absolute sense. 100%.
I 1,000% agree with you because
like there's no other way that can go, in my opinion, at that moment when it happens. There's no other way it can go. Bucky's not going to become Captain America at that moment. He's just not. He could down the line, but right now, Anthony Mackie is the obvious choice because he's the next in line.
Because he's got too much. He has way too much baggage. He's got too much on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's got too dark of a past. And it's like, obviously, you didn't know what was going on because you were being brainwashed.
Yes.
But, you know, at the same time, because of that and the way the public image is of you, it's like, well, we can't. It wouldn't be right. And Sam has been a vet. He's been a paratrooper. Yes. He's fought for the nations. He's been a great leader. He's been a counselor. He's done things that it's like, okay, I can see you becoming that. And he just didn't feel worthy of it because it's like, well, these are big shoes to fill. You're Steve Rogers.
Yes.
You're Captain America.
Yes.
And it's like, well, people don't want me for it. They don't see me.
Which is why, in my opinion, he's actually the perfect choice.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want it. Because he doesn't want it. Right. And he's the most deserving of it.
It makes him worthy.
Yes.
That makes him truly worthy.
But not even that. That's not the only reason he's worthy. He's worthy because of who he is as a person throughout all the movies.
Exactly.
He's just a good person. He is Captain America. He's what you want as Captain America. He's a truly good person. Through and through. He just is.
Because John Walker,
everybody else in Marvel is flawed. He's not.
Yeah.
And not that he's perfect, but he's not flawed in the sense that he has any glaring anything that you can be like, oh, that's why he can't be, or that he doesn't have any of those things. He is the purest of them all. He really is.
Yeah. And it works. So people get
absolutely works. It absolutely works, dude. And I don't care how much you want to hate on that, dude. That suit when he comes through with the red, white, and blue suits, come on, man. If that's not Captain America to you, man, come on.
Let me tell
don't
you
watch comic book movies anymore.
I remember seeing in a comment under a video, and people were like, they hated the suit. I'm like, how do you hate the suit? Dude, it is straight off the page.
It was so beautiful. It was so perfect.
It's straight off the page. It's freaking beautiful.
And him having that fight scene with the helicopter and throwing the shield and flying through and it's like, yes, that's exactly what I envisioned reading the comics and looking at the comics as a kid. That's what I envisioned was happening.
But you know what?
Like, it's so perfect.
Do you think, I know he didn't take the serum at the end.
Right.
But do you think at some point he might, because there may be a threat that's like, look, man, or he's just going to stick to, listen, I'm going to do what I have to do because this is who I am and I'm going to fight regardless. It's almost like he is Steve without the serum.
Yeah. But there's what movie was it where Steve tells him, he's like, the serum doesn't make me Captain America.
Right.
So, and I think he took that to heart. I think that he lives by that. He really does. Is that you can be a superhero and not be a superhuman. Like, if you have heart and you have courage and you have, and of course he has gadgets to help him. I mean, nobody can deny that. But it's all him. It's just him willing to put his life on the line and do the right thing. That's all it comes down to.
And that's the spirit of Captain America.
That's absolutely the spirit of Captain America. Is I can do this all day long. That's Captain America. Right? That one line is Captain America. It just is. And that to me is Bucky, or not Bucky, but that to me is Falcon, man. That's him. That's absolutely him.
Man, I can't wait to see this movie.
And dude, him and Sebastian Stan's chemistry is some of the best chemistry ever.
I agree.
Them two together on screen is Dude, I could watch 7 seasons of that show. Just them two, just messing with each other and doing. I could absolutely watch that for 7 seasons, dude. It's some of the best stuff ever.
You think he'll be in New World Order 2?
Oh, I hope so. If they want to keep doing it, man, I say you take advantage of them too. You absolutely take advantage of them too. If they want to continue to do this, yes, you absolutely take advantage of them too. Because those are your 2 new leads in the Avengers, right?
I would say so. They should be.
It's got to be
I
those
really
2.
don't want Captain Marvel as the lead. I really don't.
Yeah, no, she hasn't proven herself.
Thor
doesn't care. Thor does not care about being an Avenger or any. He just wants to do his own thing.
I wouldn't say he doesn't care about being an Avenger. I would say he doesn't care about being the leader. Because that's not.
Well, I just mean to him now,
two.
I think with losing everybody, I think it's not the same.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like, I just don't feel like for him it would be the same.
But see, at the same time, it's like, see, I've heard this before too. No,
okay.
Like the Captain Marvel thing, right? You didn't like it because she's a woman. That wasn't it at all. Her character to me were just garbage. I just didn't like it. I love Black Widow. I love Okoye. I love She-Hulk. They're freaking great. I enjoyed the Black Widow movie more than most people. And honestly, I don't have a problem saying that. Captain Marvel, the movie overall didn't work for me. Yeah. I did like Ben Mendelsohn as Talos. I love seeing Samuel L. Jackson back. Obviously, I love seeing Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson.
Sure.
But I just didn't really connect with Brie Larson's Carol Danvers. I just didn't. I just felt like she was, and I know this is a thing in some of the even in some of the Avengers cartoons. She's arrogant, but it's almost like an arrogant that's not really likable. You know, like Tony Stark has that arrogance, but it's like you can't help but like him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just I just didn't feel like maybe I just don't think she was well written or like the direction. I don't know. I just didn't connect with her, and I just don't feel like she should be the one to lead. I do agree with you. It should be Sam, or maybe like Sam and Bucky co-run.
Yeah, I think them two together can run it. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd even throw War Machine in there as like
another, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Dude, I think he is probably one of the most underused actors they've got in Marvel.
Absolutely.
Man. Getting Don Cheadle in Marvel and then kind of really not using him is such a tragedy, dude. He is such a great actor. He is such a great actor. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Those three, yes, that should be the big three now. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I think Armor Wars will definitely be the telltale.
Exactly.
For like how they're going.
And we're getting a new Iron Man, right? I mean, you agree with that? We're getting a new Iron Man somehow. Somewhere.
It'll be Ironheart. Riri Williams. So in the Black Panther,
I remember that.
Who actually banged out the heart. Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be her in a way. I just kind of now. Do you think?
Then you have to give Okoye. You have to give Okoye the Black Panther title, right? You have to. I just think she's the one that deserves it.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to her having it. There's another theory out there that throughout the movie there might be multiple people wearing the suit.
I can see that. I can see that only just to kind of throw everybody off.
Yeah,
because I don't think we're going to get whoever the new Black Panther is if we get it in this movie until the very end. I think that's like one of the last scenes where it's either that final fight or right after the final fight where we get whoever it is in the suit. I just think Okoye makes the most sense, man. I just feel like she makes the most sense.
What I don't disagree. But watch this.
Okay.
What if throughout the movie, it's kind of like how in The Dark Knight you had all those Batmen running around, being gimmicks. But this time you have a bunch of Black Panthers running around. You don't know who it is. They're obviously doing, some good, but you just don't know who it is. And it's like you see slight differences in each suit. And then maybe at the end we get the one who really is like whoever the queen deemed worthy. I still feel like I think it would be great if Angela Bassett was the one temporarily.
Dude, I think that's a good idea too. I actually do like that idea a lot.
Like I just feel like it would be so.
My only pushback on that idea is that she can't do the physical part of it. And I just don't know if Marvel would want to do that. Maybe just like you said, as a stand-in till we get the actual Black Panther. But I just don't see them going forward with her as Black Panther, only because, like I said, they want somebody. I think they're going to want somebody that can do the stunts or do some of the stuff. Yeah. That's why I think Okoye makes the most sense too. Is not only was she his right hand man, and she was the leader of the how do you say it? I can't remember. Yeah, but she was Michonne in Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So she has tons of acting experience already.
Yeah.
I think it makes the most sense that you have the perfect actress in the perfect position, unfortunately, after he passed to take over. And I just think it makes the most sense to me.
I'm not opposed to it. Yeah. I just don't like the idea of Shuri. Now, in the comics, I know.
No, I think Shuri's the brains. Shuri's the brains.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think she needs to be the guy in the chair.
Yes.
And Okoye could be, so. She's on comes, Okoye is in the field.
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad combo. Because look, yeah, we saw Shuri fight with her cannons in Wakanda Forever, and we saw her like briefly in Endgame.
Yeah.
But she's not a warrior.
No.
She's not a warrior. That is, and this is why I say it can either go to M'Baku or it can go to Okoye. Either way, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
I just don't think Shuri should be the one.
And I agree. I've said that say exact same thing. She should be the man in the chair. She's the brains behind everything. She creates the suits. She creates all the gadgets. That's her thing, and she's great at it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you take her out of that position. Yeah.
I think it's crazy, man.
And like I said, I think that's another reason you choose Okoye because over M'Baku because they have a better chemistry. Her and Okoye, they already know each other. They're already friends. I mean, they you know what I mean. And not that M'Baku can't be it. I just think they're going to go with more females as leads in some of these because they've already done the male versions, and I think they're going to go to some of the other versions of these characters, and that's what we're going to get.
And not even just that, the trailer itself, because I put this in my theory tweet, focuses a lot on the women of Wakanda and how they're dealing with the aftermath of losing their king. And you know here's the other thing that I think is even crazier.
Okay.
I think Doom may be in this. And I'm gonna tell you why I think Dr. Doom shows up. I saw this video. I love Variant Comics. And they were doing a breakdown. And so Doom War was a storyline that occurred where Dr. Doom wanted to steal vibranium from Wakanda.
Uh-huh.
And essentially what he was able to do, he was able to make these devices where no one knowingly knew that they were spies for him. So kind of like in a way, think of or maybe some small nanobot maybe entered their ear or however, I forgot how the gadget itself was made. But he was able to see and hear every single conversation. And T'Challa picked up on it, he knew about it, and almost got assassinated in the process of it. And so
Namor could be working for Dr. Doom?
And that's the
and
other
not know
thing,
it?
Because Namor actually at some point in different stories, I think there was one story, I don't know if it was Doom War specifically, but in one story, he went to Doom about something, and it may have been Wakanda.
I know exactly what
Yeah, and he was like, you didn't come to me first, so he denied him. And so there's that. And so maybe I think Doom War had something to do with the war between Wakanda and Atlantis, but now known as Talokan. But
crazy.
Yeah. I'm telling. I listen, and maybe in a post-credit scene we see the armor. I don't know, but I think he's in this. I'm really starting to buy into that theory that we may be seeing Dr. Doom show up in this movie.
Awesome, dude. That would be crazy.
Yeah, and they have he has a history with Wakanda. Fantastic Four has worked with them quite a bit. So I'm sure we'll see that down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. What What if we see some?
I think Wakanda's going to be more of a center, more of a bigger piece of Marvel going forward than it has been, obviously, because of what happened. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot bigger part, especially since he opened up the borders and said we're going to start sharing with everybody. I think they're going to honor that in his name, and that's going to continue. So
yeah, man, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah,
I really am.
Which may be how we get Weapon X, or the beginnings of Weapon X.
Well,
maybe that's how you introduce Wolverine. Is American government gets a hold of vibranium through Wakanda and starts doing experiments.
And instead of adamantium, it'll still be vibranium.
Oh yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah,
well, that's not bad at all. All right then. Well, shoot.
I'm saying, hey, anything is freaking possible, dude. At this point, anything is
you're
possible.
Not wrong.
It's crazy.
You're not wrong. Shit, man. Wow.
Man, dude, this has been a great time talking to you.
Heck yeah, man. We got to do this. We got to keep this
Absolutely,
going.
man.
Ben is on next week too, right?
Yeah, he'll be back next week, guys.
Yeah, you got to do Weekly Geekdom, man. You got to come on and do.
I'll hop on here with you guys anytime, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. You got to.
Go.
Because this was great. This was a great this was a great conversation. Definitely.
Yeah, man. No, I live for this stuff, man. I can talk about this stuff forever and ever and ever. It never gets old to me, man. Especially this part of it, the speculation, what can
happen. Theories and all that.
Love it, man. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Shoot, man.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I think that's going to end it for tonight. Josh, you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you?
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at The Outlawed Mind. Find me on Instagram at The Midnight Cinema 41. You can find me on, hey, you know what? You can find me on TikTok at Chef Midnight 483. Yeah. You can find me in the Multiverse of Geekdom Facebook group. I'm here every Friday on Weekly Geekdom with Ben, now Don, and every Sunday for Geekdom Uncut with all of us. Mondays with Fellowship of Geekdom. Yes. Yeah, man, and my YouTube channel, obviously. Well, I'll be an idiot for not. How can I not mention that? The Midnight Cinema. Follow my YouTube channel, The Midnight Cinema. Like, share, subscribe. Just put up a review for Beast, and there's still some more movies. Yeah, man, I loved it. So I tell you what, there's a lot more coming. So definitely go check out my channel for more reviews and content. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. So you can find me at Jedi Master Tuck on Twitter. You can also find me here on Mondays doing the Fellowship of Geekdom. Wednesdays doing the Jedi Academy. Sundays doing Geekdom Uncut. And starting this Tuesday, guys, we are doing a new show where we will be doing a rewatch of Lost. So please come and look for that. That's going to be on Tuesday nights at 10. So please come look out for that show. Yeah, guys, but you can also find me in the Facebook group right here, Multiverse of Geekdom. Please, guys, everybody go to the channel, like and subscribe if you like what we're doing. Leave comments for us so we can see what you guys think. And, guys, we will see you next time. It has been a great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there.
Absolutely.